Ms. Yeo Wanding.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, currently 8% of children enrolled in MOE kindergartens, numbering around 600 kindergarten 1 and 2 children, are reported to have developmental needs that require support. Not all these children have a formal diagnosis. Some were identified by our kindergarten educators who are equipped with basic awareness and strategies to support diverse learners in the classroom. The type of support would vary depending on the needs of each child. MOE kindergartens tap on sector-wide early intervention provisions, such as the Development Support, Learning Support, and Development Support Plus programs to support these children. Under these programs, professionals such as learning support educators and therapists provide intervention for identified children once or twice a week. This includes language and literacy support for children with learning needs and psychological support for children with behavioral needs. MOE also provides assistive technology, such as frequency modulation systems for children with hearing loss. Some children who require medium to high levels of early intervention support also attend the Early Intervention Program for Infants and Children, EPIC in short, outside of MOE kindergartens to ensure that their developmental needs are met. MOE educational psychologists work with our MOE kindergartens to identify the needs of the children and design in-class strategies to support them. While the majority of children with developmental needs will progress to mainstream primary schools, MOE educational psychologists will also make recommendations to special education for the small proportion of children better supported in a SPED school. MOE kindergartens also work closely with parents to support their child and prepare them for transition beyond preschool, whether in mainstream or the SPED schools.
Ms. Yeo Wanding.
Thank you, MOS. I note from appeals from my residents, more families are asking for preschool placements for their special needs children and are being put on a wait list or a special assessment before the child can be considered for school enrollment. I understand from experts in the field that it's also important for intervention to take place at a young age for certain special needs conditions before formal school begins. Given that the MK system was put in place to prepare preschool children for formal education, would the Minister's assessment be that the current spaces and in-school resources available for children with special needs be sufficient for our special needs community? Also, are our preschools sufficiently resourced, especially with trained teaching staff and in-house therapists, to handle such student loads?
MOE kindergartens are part of the wider ecosystem of preschools for children, especially those with special needs. And in our MOE kindergartens, the MK educators are offered baseline training by MOE educational psychologists within the first 2 years of service to gain awareness of developmental needs and strategies to support these diverse learners in the classroom. They would also have undergone training by the NIEC, or National Institute of Early Childhood Development, or other training institutes on the skills required to identify and support children with developmental needs. Our MOE kindergarten educators are supported by a case management team set up in each MOE kindergarten to coordinate identification and support for children with developmental needs. The MK case management team includes personnel who receive more in-depth training, including school special educational needs officers and our MK special educational needs coordinators. Our MKs are also supported by MOE educational psychologists who provide consultation on identification, referrals, and advice on in-class strategies.
Ms. Denise Bois.
MOS, I understand that children with special needs sometimes attend not just their daily kindergartens, whether MOE or the anchor operators like PCF, My First School and others, that's daily, usually daily. But some of them also, because of their need, they attend the EPIC programs, some specialized classes, and that's like once or twice a week. So it's a combination of both. I was recently told by some residents that the policy is such that if they receive EPIC, which is early intervention support, then if they go to the kindergartens, which are also supported by or funded by MOE, then they wouldn't receive support over in the preschools. So my question to MOS is that true? And if yes, if that's true, could we consider looking into support for these children so that they can receive effective intervention and support on a daily basis? Thank you.
I thank the member for the SQ. We want the best support for the children with special needs, whether they are in the MOE kindergartens or in the EPIC centers or the early intervention centers that Member Denise Phua mentioned. When we will work together with the early intervention centers to make sure the programs and support given to the special needs children will be complementary.
Ms. Yeo Wan Ling, a short SQ, please.
Thank you, MOS. Would the ministry also be looking at the number of people on the wait list? Has it increased for special needs people wanting to enter the MK system over the last 5 years, for instance? And also at the same time, would there also be numbers that you monitor in terms of the number of special needs people within the MK system?
As I mentioned earlier on, our MKs are part of the ecosystem of preschools in Singapore. Besides MOE kindergartens, actually there are other preschools managed under MSF that cater to the needs of students, whether they are normal or special needs. So I think it's important that we don't just look at the MOE kindergartens by themselves, but look at how, as a system, as a whole, we can meet the needs and the demands of the students. I do not know the wait list for special needs children who want to go to the MOE kindergartens, but as I mentioned earlier on, all our MOE kindergartens have provisions and teachers, and they are also supported by a group of professionals to help students with special needs. And also we know that among special needs students, there's actually a very wide spectrum. Those that require very light and are of very mild conditions, most of them are able to get the support that they need from the MOE kindergartens. And those who are deemed to have moderate and more severe conditions, they will then, the care and support will then be supplemented by other centers that the students will go to once or twice a week. So I think it's important that we look at this issue more holistically and not just look at the MOE system alone. Thank you.